Okay, so we're rolling, and I was going to say welcome back to another episode of Toy Talk, but that's sounds a bit off because I don't feel like this is something that's returning. It's something I'm starting anew. I'm still going to name it Episode 3 just for continuity. But yeah, welcome everyone to Toy Talk Episode 3, and this may come as a surprise to some because I actually said that I wasn't going to do this anymore. I quit somewhere in November, December, I think. I was just fed up. I had done 2 episodes. Gotten a lot of feedback that I didn't like, and I was done. And actually, that was fine with me until last week when I realized that there's still some stuff that I would like to do. And now is the time to do it. So I grabbed all the equipment, set it up, created a new theme song, which I had to do because I actually thrown out the other old one because I was so done with it that I was like, nah, screw that. I'm going to throw it out. So here's the new theme song, or a part of it, and we'll talk after. Okay, I hope it's not too long. I mean, that's always an issue, When am I stretching it? When is it too much? So a Toy Talk Episode 3, and as you may have noticed, I actually called it In the Toyzone, Bots and More, but there is more. Hence the more. First off, yeah. Why am I doing this again? Why am I setting myself up for another, failure or hurt feelings? I don't know. But after Bots and More, it just clicked with me that, hey, there's something I'd like to do, and that's talk about toys. I love talking about my collection. I love talking about meeting up, new developments and stuff. Even when at heart, I am a vintage toy collector. I really do not go for modern that much. But here it is. I'm back, I guess, and I'm very hesitant to call this Episode 3 or go like, hey, welcome back, because that would imply that I would do more, and I'm not sure at this point because of what transpired before the break. I had done 2 episodes, and I got some sweet feedback from some people that were actually very supportive, but also the usual bitching and moaning, which really threw me off, and I was like, okay, why am I doing this? Why aren't you using videos? I like to see videos. If you don't do videos, I'm not going to watch it again. I'm like, what? I'm not an influencer. I mean, I hope I'm not an influencer. I'm not, professional in the sense that I have expensive equipment and cameras. I have one microphone, and I'm sitting in my toy room surrounded by toys as we speak. And that's it. And I'm just, there's a flood of thoughts in my brain going from A to Z. I hope y'all can catch up and keep up. And that's about it. So that threw me off after Episode 2. So much negativity that I'm like, I'm doing this for all the wrong reasons. I'm doing this for validation from other people. I don't need that. I'm just going to enjoy my toys. And I withdrew. But then last week I went to In the Toyzone and Bots and More. More about that in a bit. And something just clicked again. And I was like, hey, man, you like doing this. You like talking about this stuff. So, I'm going to give it another go. see where this ends or doesn't end. Hey, that would be something. If it wouldn't end and just kept going. So yeah, that was it. What have I been doing in the meantime? Not a lot. I'm just, after the break, that was just quiet. I kept on collecting. I did tone it down a bit, and actually for 2026, I made myself a promise that I was going to go for quality and not quantity. So don't come home with bags full of crap. Pick one or two items that you really, really want. Cream of the crop, take it home, enjoy. And, then perhaps not buy stuff for 2-3 months. And so far, that's going well. I mean, I'm not feeling an itch that I need to buy stuff anymore. So I'm really curious as to people listening right now, both y'all. Do you recognize that? Do you get restless after, a prolonged period of not buying toys or not scratching the itch or getting the fix or whatever we want to call it? Because I used to be like that. I actually ended up buying stuff that I really didn't need, that I really didn't want. And then you look at your shelves, and then you realize, like, why did I get this? It was just to scratch the itch. And that actually happened to me a couple weeks ago while cleaning up and making room for some G.I. Joes that I got. I went to Hendrick Collectibles as well in Almelo. It was really small. I liked going there, yet I also felt like, oh, okay, this is it. And I had the same thing at the Toyzone. I'll probably get back to that in a bit. But I bought a big G.I. Joe vehicle there, the Warthog. I bought it from Rob, which is my go-to G.I. Joe guy at the moment. But I didn't have the room for it, so I had to make some space, and I was cleaning up and rearranging, and I actually stumbled upon figures and toy sets and boxed items that I'm like, I got these? I never even knew I had them. And then every time the items that I found gave me that sentiment, like, okay, what? Do I have this? I set it aside, put it in the box. I let it simmer for a day or two, and then I looked at them again, and I was like, okay, I really didn't miss y'all. I didn't miss you. You can go. So I sold off quite a bit of stuff that was just bought on impulse to scratch itches, and that may sound a little disrespectful, and that may sound a bit odd to the people who actually bought them, but I know they're going to good homes, and it's not something that I'm going to miss because it had no place in my collection. Oh, okay, that was unexpected. For example, I had a line of Conan figures from Conan the Adventurer, a cartoon in the 80s based on the Conan the Barbarian franchise, and I just got them because I could. I found them on Vinted for a good price. I found the horse, I think last year's summer edition of In the Toyzone, and I haven't looked at them since. And I just bought them because they were there, and they're awesome. They look good, but I had zero connection to the toy. I never knew the cartoon existed. I never saw it. They don't look like the Schwarzenegger versions. I mean, in the cartoon version, Zula is a man instead of the Grace Jones character. So there was nothing connecting me to the toys. So I was done. I was like, okay, it can go. And I had some TMNT items that went the same route. I was like, I didn't even know you existed, but I got you because you were available at the time. So that's a promise that I kept. I have to keep to myself for 2026. Buy quality, not quantity. Don't scratch the itch. Get something you really need. So, hey, while we're on the subject, I mean, hey, I named it Boss and More, but let's go to Hendrick Collectibles, which was in Almelo, as I said. And we went there. I went there as a Ghostbuster because my Ghostbuster group was invited there to attend and, liven up the booths a bit. So that was fun. And it was we were really well taken care of by the organization. I mean, we had a good lunch. We had drinks. I mean, everything. It was good. What I did notice personally was, and that's, I hope I'm not offending anyone, more of the same. I was walking around, and within 10 minutes, I was like, okay, I know where everything is now. I can skip that booth because I know that person. I can skip that booth because they never have anything I like. This is a person I don't like buying from, or this is a person I not like buying from, but I never buy from this person or this booth anyway, because, for instance, it's like a Pokemon, or it's like Funko Pops that I'm not into or interested in. So after like 10 minutes, I felt like, okay, I've seen it. I know where the stuff is that I want. So it was just like, my first stop was at Yuri's, Retro Yuri, because I had bought something from him months ago. And I was like, you know what, just take it to whenever the first time we meet. I'll pay you there, and it's fine. And I had already paid for it like a couple days before that. It was a wonderful item. It was the, oh God, I forgot the name. I'm assuming it's the Tactical Assault Vehicle. It's from the A-Team line by Galoop. It's the black armored vehicle with a cannon on top. And I got it for a good price at Yuri's. It was complete except for the antenna, which is always broken or missing unless you buy like a boxed one. So I can live with that. It was a fair price. That was one of the things I picked up. That was a first pickup. And to me, my 3/3/4 inch A-Team line is now, I'm complete. I got the things that I had as a kid. I had the van, I had the Corvette, and I had this armored assault vehicle. Well, my cousin had the armored assault vehicle. And that's what we played with. I never had the jet. I never had the patrol boat or the helicopters or whatever. I have the figures. Excuse me. Oh, that was unexpected again. I'm coming down with something. I have the figures. I have the combat set. You know, the with the boat and everything in it. It's the big combat set, which is actually depicting the A-Team figures on the back with general patch bodies. Very fun detail. I have a couple of carded figures, like the small 3/3/4 figures on card. I have, as said, the 3 vehicles. I have the bad guys, which I didn't even own as a kid because I never liked them. So for me, I'm complete, and I'm very happy that Yuri was able to work with me on that, and I got a great deal on it. I mean, it was a good price. There was no haggling there. Oh God, I want to say its name. I really forgot. Someone will probably remind me in the comments, but I don't know. But I'm happy I got it. It's complete. It looks amazing. And except for the antenna, it's complete, of course. And it's just a good piece to have. I'm happy with it. So I picked that up. I stored it, and then I started walking around, and I quickly realized, like, I'm probably not going to spend a lot of money here. And that's not because I was stingy, but that was because I felt that the event was, it was still fun, but it was taken over by the things that ruined events like Dutch Comic Con and Comic Con Holland for me, which is like these self-made item booths, like, you know, stuff that comes from a 3D printer and they sell Funko Pops, self-made art. I mean, I'm all for people, being creative, but I don't think that stuff belongs at a vintage toy fair or at an event that's marketed as a vintage toy fair. So I not myself per se, but I did feel and I did hear a lot of people being slightly disappointed, and I was sorry to see that at around 2 o'clock it had completely emptied out and there was almost no one left that was, buying stuff. I did stop at a booth. I bought, as you can see on my Instagram, a gorgeous arrow, and not the physical object arrow, but the arrow from the She-Ra Princess of Power line. That's the horse that belongs to Bo, the the only male figure, I think, in the entire line. This vendor had it on his booth. It was amazing. I actually stopped because of something else. I'll tell you in a bit. But I was in doubt because it was a Spanish box, and I really don't like the El Reina Mágico or whatever it says on it. I'm like, no. But then again, it was Arrow. It was hard to find a horse. I never saw it before. The box was in good shape. The price was okay. He was willing to drop a little bit. So, yeah, I did go for it. I initially wanted to buy the guy's Spook Chasers, which as a Ghostbusters fan would be my like holy grail. He had 3 of the 4 Spook Chasers for sale. Unfortunately, no ghosts nor streams, but 3 good-looking Spook Chasers nonetheless. And Spook Chasers are bootleg figures from the real Ghostbusters line. They don't look like them. You get the feeling, when you look at them, like, yeah. These are supposed to be real Ghostbuster figures, but they're not. And they don't look the part. They don't feel the part, but they do look awesome. But because of them being bootlegs, because of them being rare, because of them not being available here, I guess, the price was more than I was willing to pay. And I have been in contact with the vendor since. He said, you know what, we can work something out. I mean, you can pay in 3, whatever. But I'm like, nah, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking a high-end item like that, which is going to cost me a serious amount of money, and then pay in 3. I don't feel comfortable with that. So that's not going to happen. But I did bring home Bo. I also got this, I want to say Panini, but it's not Panini. The sticker album from the A-Team where you can like actually put in these cardboard stickers or whatever they were. You can actually glue them in yourself for a good price. So I walked away with some cool stuff, and I was happy. I bought the Arrow. I decided to get it even though it was a Spanish box. And in hindsight, that was a good call because a couple weeks later, I would add something else to the lineup, also in a Spanish a box or a Spanish card. So that's 2 for 2. And I walked around a little bit. I was in doubt getting some mask items because there was a vendor selling some mask, some Thunderhawk and other stuff that I would be interested in, but the boxes were not in the best of shape, so I left them. I don't regret them. I was like, okay, that's not meant to be. In hindsight, once again, hindsight's 2020. It was a good call because now I do have a better version coming my way in a couple weeks. And so I'm happy. And then I stopped at Rob's. I got the G.I. Joe Warthog. We talked a little bit about G.I. Joe. He said, send me a list of figures you need. I'll be at the Toyzone in a couple weeks anyway. So, we could probably work something out, and I'll take the figures there. Which we did. So that was cool. And then I just wandered around, and I was like, okay, this is it. The A-Team item that I got. I'm just opening it up. The Armored Attack Adventure Set. That was the name of the thing. Okay, nobody will ever remember that. So I got the A-Team set, the Warthog with Sergeant Slaughter, which was a gorgeous piece, a really good price too. I got El Reino Mágico Flecha, which is Arrow. And on my way out, I picked up Super Fright Features Peter Venkman on card. Very clean, very good card, unpunched. And I was like, okay, it's Peter Venkman. And they had on the top of my head, they had I want to say 4. No, that was 3 real Ghostbuster figures for sale. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to pick the best one. 2026, quality, not quantity. I could have picked them all up, but I was like, okay, choose one. And I chose the Super Fright Features Peter Venkman. I'm looking at it right now. It's a gorgeous piece on the card. The other 2 were okay, but in hindsight, they turned out to be resealed or fixed, because I heard that later on from the vendor himself. Like, hey, I got to tell you, this This one's not mint on the card. This is a reseal. This one I fixed, which I appreciate. I appreciate honesty above everything else. If you got something for sale and I want it, and you're telling me it's sealed and it's not, then I'm gonna pay sealed money for a non-sealed item. So, that doesn't fly. That doesn't fly. I mean, I'm curious as to what you guys think about this. I mean, hey, do you would you let it slide? If you came home and you figured like, hey, man, this has been opened, which I never. Oh, not recently, but I did have that happen to me in the past, that I bought items and I got home and I'm like, oh crap, they pulled the wool over my eyes, because this one was not sealed, or this is not complete. That's even worse. If they sell you something which is supposedly complete and you come home and it's like, oh fuck, it's missing guns and bombs and grenades, which because of my G.I. Joe is quite easy. Easy to miss parts from G.I. Joe toys, because these small soldiers have lots and lots of parts. So yeah. Would I go to Hendrix Collectibles again? Yes, I would, because I always complain, bitch and moan, that there's nothing to do here in the north, toy wise. And now there's two events, Hendrix Collectibles in Almelo, and we got Collectifest in Groningen, which is next month, I think, April 5th, top of my head. So I'm going to support that, because I think it's only fair. I like having these events in my neighborhood, in driving distance, 40 minutes. Go there and support them, because, that's what we do. So, yeah. Then some weeks of nothingness, I guess. And then, the In the Toyzone rolled around. And in the meantime, I didn't get a lot of stuff. I just, fiddling around on social media, trying to be the influencer that I am. And so when the Toyzone came around, Toyzone Bots and More, which was, I think it was a very smart move to do this like this, because you drew in a broader audience and you still catered to the Transformers fans, but also gave the non-Transformers fans a reason to go, which was good. It wasn't overcrowded. It was in Haarlem again, and I skipped the last one. Because I really felt I didn't want to go. I was so done with the entire, oh, looky me, flashy, look what I got. Oh, let's do another take and make believe that I'm still surprised, because I've seen this item for the umpteenth time today, but I'm still going to act surprised and put on a little show. And I think that as it goes, some people should really take more responsibility as to what nonsense they actually spew, and what stuff they put out in the world. And, because people are looking up to y'all. I mean, people don't look up to me. Really, they don't. I can say whatever I want, I guess, and no one's going to be different. But if you have like 5,000-6,000 followers, people subscribing to you, and you spew certain things, people are going to believe you, take it at face value, and that's risky, because there's also a downside to it. In all honesty, I see items that you couldn't give away a couple years ago now go for top dollar because someone said it's pricey, rare, and something. I tend to disagree. Rarity does not make anything pricey. I mean, it's demand. If something can be one of a kind and nobody wants it, it's still not going to cost you that much to get it, because it could be rare or one of a kind. If nobody wants it, nobody's going to pay for it. But yeah, that's another story, perhaps for another less depressing toy talk. So yeah, I went to Haarlem and was walking around. I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. I mean, I was meeting up with my friends, with Mark, Marius and Dave and Jeroen, and we were just walking around getting toys. And the guys were having a blast. I mean, they were like going around spending money, and I was like walking around with the same feeling I had in Almelo. I was like, okay, I know this stuff. Now, automatically, when I see booths with Transformers, I'm probably going to switch off because Transformers is not really my thing. I never liked it as a kid. I don't actively collect them as an adult. I have a soft spot for RC because RC has a little link to Gem of the Holograms because RC was voiced by Sue Blue, or Susan Blue, who is also the voice of Kimber. Oh, here we go. Stormer in Gem of the Holograms, one of the Misfits. Funny story, I never knew that. It was her, and I never knew what she looked like until I saw Friday the 13th, Part 7. I was watching it, and she's the mother, and she has a smaller part in it, and at the end, of course, she gets chased by Jason, and ends up on the wrong side of Jason, and she starts to scream, or like, run, and I was like, wait a minute, rewind that again? And it was exactly her Stormer voice from Gem of the Hologram. So I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Who's this woman? And I looked it up and I'm like, hey, that's Sue Blue. Okay. I never knew that. I only knew her as a voice actress, RC and Stormer. But yeah, I digress once again. So RC is one of the Transformers I would be willing to get. And I actually talked to Mint in Mind about it, to Vince. And he recommended one, and I completely forgot. So, Vince, if you're listening, which you're probably not, sorry, I forgot. I'll look it up again. That was one. That's one thing I'll get, and I do want a Bruticus, an original Bruticus. I loved Bruticus as a kid. The first and probably one of the only Transformers I ever owned was Brawler, and Brawler is one of those Combaticons, I guess. He's the armor, the tank, and I loved him. I played with him a lot because I had these plastic toy soldiers, and they were the enemy of Brawler, and he could just go, ape shit on those plastic soldiers because, he could whoop them, blow them up, shoot them to bits, then transform into a robot and get his laser and shoot them again, and that was fun. So a lot of fun memories on Brawler, but yeah, other than that, I never liked them. I found them very tedious. I didn't like the transforming action. It took too long. I don't have the patience for it. Hey, heck, I don't even have the patience to build Legos. So, yeah, that goes to show how much non-patience I have. Transformers, I switched off. I did see a lot of other stuff. I was more like, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. I've seen this before. It's all the same stuff again. And I'm kind of done going through bins and plastic bags. I mean, I know you can find treasures in there, but I'm like, nah, I didn't feel it. So I had some serious cash in my pocket, and I was like, oh, I actually texted my wife and going like, I probably could book our vacation early this year because I'm not going to spend this. And she was, well, she knows me. She was like, yeah, right, that's not going to happen. I walked around a little bit more. I went to Rob, my go-to G.I. Joe guy. He had some figures that I already purchased from him, so I picked them up. We talked a little bit, and then I crossed over to Carsten, Toy Hunters, NL. He had 2 Pocahontas figures on card, which my wife saw, and she was like, oh, you can bring those for me, because I want them. I was like, sure. So I bought my wife two figures on card. And I was still going like, I haven't actually bought anything here because the G.I. Joes I already ordered before. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to take a shitload of money home. And then I did something incredibly smart or insanely stupid. I stopped by at the one booth that I hadn't seen before, that I had not stopped before, that I was like, okay, this is new stuff. That was at Monkey's Emporium. And that was, yeah, a lot of bootlegs. I don't care about bootlegs. Seriously, guys, explain it to me. So, people listening right now, what is the appeal of those butt-ugly bootleg figures? I mean, I see them and I'm like, these guys are Elephant Man ugly. They're so not cool. Why are they worth so much to so many people when you got like a great looking original He-Man for a couple bucks, and then you want He-Man who's cross-eyed, has the wrong color, and everyone's fawning over him and like, oh, this is awesome, this is amazing, we need this. I'm like, why? It's ugly. I mean, I think even Johnny from I think it's Johnny from Monkey's Emporium. I was like, I don't know, man, but they're ugly, but they're in demand. Well, they started off really well by showing me 3 carded Galaxy Adventure Girls, which I had never seen in my entire life. I knew of them. I had never seen them in my life. And here they were, 3 of them in front of me right there and then. And I was like, uh-oh, this is going to set me back major cash. Because they were expensive. They were in the 150 area a piece, which was more than I was going to pay or willing to pay or being able to pay at that time. And like, no, I'm going to go over budget. I promised my wife I wouldn't go over budget. I promised myself I wouldn't go over budget, and that I would go for quality over quantity. But then again, this is serious quality. This is something I have never seen before. Now, Galaxy Adventure Girls is, it feels a bit like a She-Ra knockoff line. She-Ra Golden Girl knockoff line. Now, let's not forget, Golden Girl was there first. Golden Girl's not a knockoff of She-Ra. It's the other way around. Golden Girl was first, although when looking at them, the Golden Girl figures are definitely not as nice looking as the Mattel She-Ra Princess of Power figures. But that's another story, perhaps for another time. I was so tempted to get them, and I was like, oh, man. And I don't know if you guys know that feeling when you're face to face with an item that you've been looking for your entire life, which at a certain point you were like, I'm gonna give up looking because I'm never gonna find them, and not 1 but 3 show up. Now, they did mention to me that, hey man, we have the entire set at home, so I might just have to contact them again and go, okay, what can we do on the set once the money comes back in and I have something to spend. Yeah, believe it or not, I actually left them there. I didn't get them. Regret? Yeah, definitely. The moment I set foot in the car and the event was over, and I'm like, oh shit, you idiot. But then again, I did pick up 2 other amazing items at Monkey's Emporium. And the first one was a carded She-Ra Princess of Power. Now, here the story goes full circle back to the Arrow in Spanish box, because this was a She-Ra on a Spanish card. And once again, Reino Mágico, but she was clean. And I have to kudos to the Monkey's Imperium guys, because they immediately said, listen up, the foot, the bottom of the card is lifting. Because it's the glue let loose. It's dissolved or whatever. So it's not completely mint on card. It's not sealed. So that was bonus points, because that's honesty for you right there. You know. And we haggled a little bit on the price. We agreed. I took her home with me. And I'm turning my head now and looking at her, and I'm like, holy shit, she's so gorgeous. And that's actually my second carded She-Ra figure. Actually 3, but 1 I wouldn't classify as carded anymore. I have this one. I have the I'm calling it Catch Scratching Catra, but that's not the one. That's not the correct title. But I get that one. I got carded. I got She-Ra carded, and I have an Angela carded. But that one, the glue dissolved so much that it actually, came off. And I resealed it, but it feels off. The card took damage while doing it. And while my wife can fix a lot of stuff, she fixed the She-Ra like you wouldn't notice that this has been resealed. She really fixes it, and she knows what she's doing, and it's amazing. But that one, she couldn't save. So yeah, I got 2 carded figures. 1 in Spanish card with a Spanish boxed bow horse arrow. So I'm like, I'm fine. And I gotta admit, I don't mind anymore. I'm looking at her right now, and she's gorgeous, and she's just shining, and she's pearly white, and so amazing. It's good. It's good. It's good. So, yeah, I took her home. I put her in the bag, walked around a little bit. And then this gnawing feeling in my head kept going, you need to go back and get that other item that he had. And I was like, no. So I went back. Johnny wasn't there. There was actually just one guy at the booth right at that time. And I was like, okay, I'm in luck. I can't buy it because there's no one there. Moved along, got something to eat, got a cup of coffee. And as the guys were about to go home, ready to go home, I was like, okay, I'm going to give it one more go. And yeah, we made a deal. And that was for the carded Masters of the Universe Evelyn figure. My very, 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 very first carded figure from the Masters of the Universe line. I have some Masters of the Universe. I am a big fan. I just don't overly collect it because I think some of these things are just overly expensive right now. But I do love them. And this is one of those moments, and some of y'all will recognize this, and others will go like, okay, he's completely mental and flipping, and he's losing it. But that's the moment when you hold it in your hands, and immediately, I'm 50 years old, immediately I'm transformed back to my childhood, being 9 years old, and holding a Masters of the Universe figure in the hand, and going like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if Mom let me get this one and allow me to take this one home. And then you read the back of the card, and there was nothing to read. There was just this big giant image of whatever character you were buying or hoping to buy. And in this case, it was Evelyn with her, orb probing He-Man. Like he's coming and she's watching in this glass bowl like one of those gypsy fortune tellers, and it was so overwhelming that actually it was a moment right there that really hit me, and I was feeling so nostalgic and so incredibly happy. I think I was actually skipping along as I left the booth and went back to the guys again, like, okay, I got this. And everyone expected me to get it. I mean, I was contemplating it the entire day, but for the better half of the day, at least until 2 o'clock, I didn't buy a damn thing. I was just there and going like, I don't know. There's nothing. No, it's a lot of the same, which, is good for the wallet, or in hindsight, not, because then you start buying the expensive shit. But I was really feeling a little bit fatigued. Like, okay, it's almost the same thing that I see everywhere, and that's not something the organization can do anything about because, but perhaps there's too many of them right now, because we used to have like 1-2 toy events a year, and now it's like every other month there's a big one. And I know that's where the money is, so as long as people keep going, they'll keep organizing them, which is perfectly fine. But I'm like, I never felt the need to skip them until now. Like, I can miss out on a few, and I won't miss out on anything, which is a bit of a drag. But in all fairness, okay, Monkey's Emporium, they did surprise me, and of course my go-to gal, Linda from Moondancer's Paradise. She sells My Little Ponies and dolls, and y'all know that I collect Gem and the Holograms. That's the thing, and we also collect. Occasionally, when I get the chance, I collect Barbies. And she had a Jewel Dazzle Teresa on her booth for a price that just immediately drew me in. And she actually started smiling and went like, I finally figured your type. I'm like, what? She said, every time you buy for me, you buy the brunettes or the redheads. You never buy the blonde Barbies. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That's actually true. I get Midge, I get Teresa. I hardly ever get Barbie. My wife gets the Barbies, the original Barbies, the blonde-haired Barbies, and I usually get the other versions, like the brunettes. And like, hey, yeah, you might be right there. So yeah, I talked a little bit to Linda. We haggled on the price. Wait, no, we didn't haggle on the price. She said, "This is what it costs. I'll cut you a deal. It's that much." And she made such a sweet deal of it. Like, I'm okay. This girl is going home. So at the end of the day, what I actively bought and sought out at Toyzone in Bots and More, it was a carded Evelyn, a carded Shira, and a boxed Teresa, and that was it. The rest was always prearranged. I mean, I did meet up with Ed's Retro Geek Out and keep it in mind for my 15 minutes of shame. Wait a minute, fame. As an influencer. Nah, I'm not an influencer. Please. Because I bought a General Patch figure from Vince, off of Vince, and but it was like just a small amount of money. It wasn't even really that big, but I bought it, and it goes into the collection because it's those were military figures I had as a kid that I used as like opponents for G.I. Joe, opponents for the A-Team. They had limited like mobility, but they were cool. They were army figures. They had like helmets and backpacks and stuff, and they had the smell of battle. We still don't know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, we know Stinkor when you open them up. It's like, oh yeah, that's Stinkor or Mossman or Rainbow Brights or strawberry shortcakes. I mean, that smelled like strawberries. We know that, but what the smell of battle was, we never knew. But it's on the card. I have a couple of them carded, and it says action figures or soldiers or whatever with the smell of battle. I never smelled it as a kid. I never gotten it as a kid. I thought it was a cool tagline. Didn't make any sense. So yeah, that was my start of 2026. And how do I progress from here? I don't know. There's a Toyzone in May again. People are going like, hey, you should go. It's fun. And yeah, but then again, if it's more the same, I might skip it. I'm not entirely convinced that I should go. There's Collective Fest on April 5th in Groningen, where I'm definitely going to go because I promised the guys organizing it that I would be there so we could talk about probably an appearance, or possibly an appearance of the Ghostbusters in another edition. And push comes to shove, it was actually fun. Last year I went there, I bought some cool G.I. Joes, bought a beautiful She-Ra, a bust, got some Red Sonja comics in, so I had fun there. And, you know, it's only 40 minutes. It's a short drive, and it's a great way to spend your Sunday. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be at a Disney fair with my wife in Vught, I guess, on the April 4th. That's where I'm going to go. So I'm probably going to be all out of money when Toyzone comes around. So to be on the safe side, I'm probably not going to go. Yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to keep collecting. I just shift focus now. I'm like, okay, it's going to take me longer to get stuff, but I'm just not going to get stuff because I want to get stuff. I think that's a smart thing to do. Okay, I want to thank everyone who met up with me in the past couple weeks, you know, said hi, had a little talk, like Wesley or, you know, Ed or Vince, and there's probably more people, and Linda, and Jaren 80 Speelgoed. Oh, I forgot her name. It's so cool when you meet up and talk to people. That's for me, that's more powerful than any form of social media. Because people go, what's your aversion to influencers? And I'm like, I don't have any aversion to it. People should do what makes them happy, but it doesn't make me happy. I'm like, it feels affected. Sometimes it feels, you know, stacked. Not always, but sometimes I'm like, oh, come on, you guys, this is like rehearsed. You know, this is staged. Don't insult my intelligence. Not that I'm a smart guy, by the way, because I got screwed over a lot of times with toy deals in the past. So I'm not a particularly smart guy, but I do feel like this. You know, it's insulting sometimes. So yeah, I'm not gonna go there now. I'm gonna close off this episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did enjoy doing this. Perhaps there's going to be more. It's just going to... I'm not going to say it depends on you guys. It depends on how I feel about it. If no one says a thing and I still want to do one, I'll do it. If you all are like enthusiastic and throwing flowers and panties towards me, preferably not used, and I still don't want to do it, I won't do it. But, I might. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you guys go like, hey, you know what, Dre, we should do this together. Fine. We can get on Discord and record an episode together. Just get Audacity, record your lines. I'll mix them and match them just like I did in the past with my Ghostbusters podcast. It'll be fine. But for now, thank you all. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I have an Instagram account. It's just my name, Already Hitting. Just look me up. It's just about toys, mainly, I guess, and a little complaint about people not getting in touch. But that's that's about it. So it's 45 minutes in, almost. I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to wish you all hopefully, a nice weekend. Enjoy the sun. Probably the sun's going to come out, or it's going to stay rainy like it is now. Keep collecting. Keep enjoying your adventures, and keep sharing them, because they are important. See you next time.